Hello to all of you who are involved in the legacy program in Atlanta and other places with interest in Atlanta. Um, I'm going to provide for you in a very brief amount of time an image that I hope will help you as it's helped me and my family to get a sense of what providing a legacy is all about. So I'm going to really borrow from a good and valued friend of mine, Rabbi Jane Shapiro, whom some of you might know, but Rabbi Shapiro has really likened generations, be they Jewish or any other group, generations of family members, likened the role of the grandparent to someone with a wingspan. So if you can imagine, I'm spreading my arms out this way and I have a wingspan. I'm also a grandparent, so I can tell you from experience that this is something that if you do it, you're going to feel it. The wingspan suggests that if we reach out in one direction, and it's just generally true about people, that if we reach to the left, it feels like the past. And if we reach to the right, it feels like the future. And if we reach to the past on our left arm, reaching out, we actually can have several generations under our wingspan. We would have our parents obviously right next to us, but right next to them would be our grandparents. And if we're fortunate enough to have known great-grandparents, then this arm reaches out as far as the great-grandparents, 2 or 3 generations on this side. And if we reach out on the other side, we have our children right next to us, and next to them would be our grandchildren. And probably unknown to most of us would be great-grandchildren. So what Jane Shapiro suggests is that if we look at the wingspan of a grandparent, we have 5, 6, 7 generations, counting ourselves. This is a pretty big wingspan. And that means that if we reach back in time to receive a legacy from those who've gone before us and who've thought about us even before we were around, much as we think about our great-grandchildren before they're around. And this is the side from which we receive a legacy. And the legacy would be a culture, it would be a belief system, it would be values, it would be morals. It might also be resources that are transmitted to us. And on the other side, we have the legacy that we send out, that we transmit, that we're responsible for keeping, holding, and then transmitting to the next generation. And again, like the legacy that we received from our forebears, we transmit values, and we transmit culture and beliefs, and we transmit stories that are sometimes legendary in a family, stories of ancestors, of parents, great-grandparents who left other countries and moved because life was not tolerable where they were, and brought us to wherever we are right now. And the stories are the vehicle which we have to both receive the legacy and transmit the legacy. But the stories, because they carry with them lessons about what kinds of families we are, what kinds of people are under our wingspan. People who provide for their families, people who provide values in education, people who provide moral beliefs, but also people who provide resources if they are available. And that's where joining the community legacy programs that I'm talking to you about provides us an opportunity to transmit beliefs in our community and transmits the resources to those communities so that the community as we found it, as we received it, can continue on into the future, long into the generations that are to come. It's sort of like if we look at our hands, you know, we can have closed hands around the ends of our wingspan, closing in the generations. But if we open our hands up, it says we're receiving as far back as we possibly can. That means, as we just did at Passover, we can feel as if we were among the Jews who left Egypt, because we've opened up to that legacy and that story. Or if we open up our hand on this side and reach out, we reach past our great-grandchildren to our great-great-grandchildren, and to generations well beyond that. So that's the image that I want to give you. It's the one of someone who is at a point in time who has a wingspan that covers multiple generations, both in the past as well as in the future, and who has decided to transmit as part of a legacy transmission, not only stories, not only values, but also resources to be sure that the things that we value, the things that we find important, are transmitted to the future. So I hope that that image is one that's valuable to you, and I hope that you can carry it with you, and that it helps you to see where we stand in the history of our families, but also the history of the Jewish people and our community.